Welcome everyone to the SmileSource October 2017 Independent Members Meeting. I'm Dr. Mike Maroon, your host, and we have a hot and heavy program for you tonight. We have the folks from Ziemek Dental Lab, and then a little bit later on we have folks from Midmark Dental. And as usual, we'll have our awesome group discussion a little bit later on. So stay tuned for some exciting dental information. I ask anybody who's not presenting just to mute yourself for now, and then if you have any questions, go ahead and type them into the chat, and we'll be able to ask them for anyone. And so without further ado, I am going to make the Ziemek folks the presenter, and they can take over the show for a little bit. You guys should see something pop up on your screen.
You guys see our slide?
Not yet. Did you hit share? There we go. Who are we? Just the big.
You got that? Okay.
So go ahead and introduce yourself and
all right.
Keep running.
Okay. Thanks, Dr. Maroon. So I'm Jamie, and I'm here with JR, and I'm the Chief Operating Officer at Ziemek Laboratories, and JR is our head of customer service director. And we're a new lab vendor to SmileSource, and we'll kind of run through a few slides. I'd love to do some Q&A. So Ziemek Northwest regional, but we serve doctors all over the United States and in Alaska. We're a full so we plan to retain. Yeah.
I don't know if you can hear me or not, but for some reason your microphone's going in and out on my end. I don't know if that's happening with any of the other docs, but if I'm not hearing it, then it's not being recorded. So I'm just going to have you start over again. I don't know why the mic is going in and out. We should have good computer speed. So I just wanted to make you aware of that.
Dr. Maroon, should we try a call in maybe, or?
Yeah, why don't you guys why don't you do a call in on the phone, and then you could show your presentation. I think that might be better.
Yeah, so we'll call in right now.
Please enter your access code followed by the pound. To enable audio controls, please enter your audio PIN followed by the pound or hash sign. If you do not have a PIN, just press pound or hash.
You're gonna have to mute your mic now. Yeah, there you go.
All right, there we go. How's that? Is that better, guys?
Yeah, that's better. I can hear you now.
Okay, awesome. So I'll just start over really quickly. So I'm Jamie, and Jamie Stover. I'm the Chief Operating Officer here at Ziemek Laboratories, and I'm here with JR. He's our Customer Service Director. So we're located, we have labs in Olympia, Washington, Tacoma, Washington, and Bend, Oregon. We're a full-service dental lab, locally owned and operated since 1990. We're a DOMIS certified lab. If you're unfamiliar with what DOMIS means, it's basically it's our quality control system that assures that we operate under all the guidelines of the FDA. And we're an ADA certified CE provider, and we do not outsource any of our products to other countries. Everything all our restorations are made in the USA. And although we're a regional to the Northwest, we serve doctors all over the United States and Alaska. And we're a newer vendor to SmileSource. We were asked by SmileSource to become a vendor because so many dentists in our region up here in Washington currently use us, and asked if we could put together a program for SmileSource. And so we did that, and so now we're here. See if we can get our slides to advance here. They're not wanting to. Let's see. We may have to just, let's see, do we need to use these controls over here maybe, or? Yeah, for some reason, Dr. Maroon, we're not able to advance our slide. Is there
PowerPoint? If you hit spacebar or enter, usually that'll make it go.
Okay. Yeah, it's Keynote, but yeah, it's not advancing here. I can't even.
You feel like it's locked?
Like it's locked. Yeah, I can't even escape out of my presentation here, which is weird. Gosh, do you have any other? Have you had anybody do a Keynote presentation for you before?
No. Well, if it's on your own computer, it's your own computer that's acting up. It has nothing to do with us here on this end.
It has nothing to do with the sharing feature. Okay.
Yeah, not typical.
Okay.
Why don't we do this, Jamie? Why don't I do this instead of using up your time trying to do this? I see that the other presenter from Midmark is on. Why don't I switch over to them, let them do their presentation, then we'll come back to you, and you can get your thing up.
Okay.
How's that? Is that
yeah, let's do it.
Okay. So, Zach, are you on? If you can.
Yes, sir, I'm on.
Okay, so unmute yourself. Are you going to do the PowerPoint, or you want me to use what I have?
If you can do it, I'm on the road, so I don't know how great my connection is. So I just pulled off to jump on for you guys. If you scroll through it, if that works for you, that'd probably be the best way to do it.
Okay.
And I'll just talk through it.
All right, so here we are. We're on Midmark. So can you see the presentation at all, or no?
Yes, sir, I can see that.
You can see it. Okay, so hold on a second. Let me go to full screen. You just say go to next, and then I'll go to the next one. All right, so this is Zach. Okay. Zach, how do you say your last name?
It's Zach Wanner, and I'm out of Texas. I'm the Central and South Texas rep for Midmark. And I was just a part of the meeting we had with you guys up in for sales at our corporate office.
Yep.
Where we had a lot of fun and learned a lot of bit. I think you guys learned a lot of bit about us, and we learned a lot about you guys too. So thanks for giving us an opportunity tonight on this call. So did you want to say anything else, Dr. Maroon?
No, go ahead. It's all you.
Okay. So one of the biggest things I think from the trip that the administrators and some of the other folks took to Midmark these last couple of days were, I think a lot of the idea about Midmark was that we're just a sterilizer company. So it was a big learning experience for everyone there that we do a lot more than that. And some of the key highlights for us is that the feedback was that they didn't realize was, everything we make is made in the USA. So majority of our products are made in Versailles, Ohio. We do make our imaging products in the Chicago area, and then we make one line of our cabinetry in Kentucky, but everything's made in the USA. If you want to go ahead and jump to the next slide. And this slide just kind of highlights all we do. So besides sterilizers, which most everybody knows about, we do a full line of operatory products from a mid-level package, chair package and delivery unit, to a higher end package with massage. And I'll kind of talk about some of the details on those as we go through these slides. And then we have 2 lines of casework, a full line of imaging products, including pans, sensors, and intraoral x-rays, a full line of mechanical room products from wet vacs, dry vacs, compressors. So we can outfit your entire office with the core equipment. Go ahead and go next. So jumping into casework, we had a line of cabinetry called Integra for several years, and we just came out with a rebrand of that and we are calling it Synthesis. And one of the unique things when you're comparing it to other lines of cabinets that are out there in the market is this is a steel frame and steel base line that's made of 18 gauge steel with wood door fronts and drawer fronts, but the core of the cabinets is steel. So the big difference for that is durability. We put this in a lot of high volume clinics, really busy areas. It can take a lot of abuse, lasts a long time. One of the famous stories that we like to tell is it survived. Some of our cabinets survived a Hurricane Katrina. They just had to get washed off and they were good to go. So because of it's not a typical wood cabinet, it's great for, wet environments, like for your sterilization area, resist heat and steam. And then a couple other things we do with this cabinet is for our door fronts and drawer fronts, we have a special wrapped seal that goes around. So whatever finish you guys pick, it's sealed around the cabinet drawer front or door front, so no water or moisture or anything could get in there. And the nice thing about that is there's no edge banding. One of the big things you'll see with cabinets is the first thing to go, especially if it's like a millwork or builder grade cabinet, is the edge banding. These cabinets don't even have edge banding, so it's not something to worry about. If you look on this slide, you'll see some of the new features we added. We've got a bunch of different drawer fronts and door fronts, handle styles. There's a lot of different options. So if you are familiar with the Integra brand that we had before, this is going to be a big change because we used to only have one style, one look with different colors, obviously, but now we've got a whole bunch of different options to go on this line of cabinet. And go ahead and go to the next one. And this just highlights doing the synthesis casework in sterilization areas. So obviously Midmark, we do sterilizers, we do ultrasonics, but one of the big things we do is we can work with our customers is making sure that we're helping with improving the workflow in a sterilization area, making sure we're avoiding cross-contamination areas, just making sure that we're building a good workflow and a good, safe working environment for your office. And you can see these are just some different examples of sterilization centers that we've done for some offices. These are real examples. The picture on the top left is that's more of what our old Integra looks like. And if you compare that to the picture on the top right, you can see some of the new changes with those handles and door fronts that are new styles and options that we have. Same thing on the bottom left, kind of compares both the older style versus the newer style. So a lot of neat new changes that we've come out with the synthesis line for sterilization areas. Okay, next. So the other line of cabinets we have is called Artisan Expressions. This is a wood line of cabinets, but the cool thing with this line is if you're looking for a specific type of look for your office, if you've got certain artwork you're trying to match or contrast, or certain paint colors, or you're really trying to get a specific theme or look to your office, this line of cabinets allows you to do that. I know the picture is not great there, but in that bottom picture of that operatory setup, that back 12 o'clock cabinet actually has on the top part, right where he's got the cursor, that top part is actually a resin, a Lumicore resin. We have about 26 different designs, everything from like grass reeds or wheat that's kind of compressed into a resin that's put on top of the color of the cabinet, to just kind of funky different designs that are different colors. So we can do a lot of different things with that part. And then that midsection is actually ultra leather. That's the same material that'd be on your chair. So the idea with that is adding different textures, contrasting colors, and just kind of mixing up the look of the cabinet. With this line of cabinet, we do a lot of two-tone, where you'll see your upper cabinet is a different color than the lower portion of your cabinet. So this is a great solution for when you're really trying to accomplish a certain look and feel for your office. Okay, next. Let's go ahead and jump to the next screen. This kind of highlights this overview. So operatory products. I mentioned earlier, we've got a couple different kind of categories of operatory. We have a real basic setup with our Ultra Trim or Ultra Comfort chair. And then we have two different delivery units that can go on that, all the way up to what you're seeing here. This is our Elevance chair package. This would be considered our higher end package with our Elevance Continental unit. And that comes also in a traditional style too. So depending on what type of delivery you're practicing, you've got a couple different options there. This chair has some unique features like heat massage, and we have a competitor that uses a massage unit. Theirs is an air bladder. This is a true massage unit. We work with a company that's all they do is build massage units for airplanes and cars, and that's the company we use for that. So it's a true massage unit, has a heater in it. Couple other unique things. Midmark is a firm believer in helping you guys with the best, not only the best, the best looking, best functionality for your patient, but also ergonomically functional for you. One of the features on this chair is that most chairs have a rotation in the back bottom behind the backrest down below, where you're going to have to bend over and use your hand to unlock or lock to rotate the chair in position. I don't know if you can see it, but in that bottom, there's two little foot pedals. Those will actually allow you to rotate the chair to the position that you want without having to bend over and get out of the position that you're working in. So the other thing is a smaller footprint. If you notice that chair kind of concave in, that's unique to the Elevance chair. We're trying to eliminate any potential tripping hazards for patients and also just making a sleeker, stylish footprint. And then of course on this Continental style, this is a solution we've used for a lot of doctors that are looking for minimal movements. If you've had any kind of back pain or physical issues with years of practicing dentistry, this is a solution we've found for a lot of doctors that it minimizes a lot of your movements. That little LCD screen that you can see in the middle of that unit, actually we can preset all the programs. So if you're building in electrics, a scaler, a camera, whatever it might be for your accessories, we're building that in, and everything can be preset. This is a great solution if you've got multiple doctors that have different preferences. What we want to be is the best, most efficient solution for you. So if you've got your preferences for your electric, or you're doing an endo and you don't use water, but another doctor does need water, we would preset everything for you so that when if you do procedures in the morning and then another doctor is using that same operatory in the afternoon, all he has to do is go to his or her name, and then everything is switched. So there's no adjusting knobs, there's no adjusting any of the settings. It's all preset for that particular user. So again, the whole focus with this kind of package is efficiencies and being a solid ergonomic solution for you. And this is called the Elevance chair package with the Elevance unit. And go ahead. And that's just a picture of the traditional style. Now you can see that LCD screen a little bit better there. Next. And that's just highlighting the Continental. We do have, in this particular one, we have our LED light, so we do have an LED or halogen option. Go ahead, next. And this is just another view of it. That's a console mount versus a traditional LR. Okay, so this is just highlighting a couple of our imaging features I mentioned earlier. We do have a 2D pan right now. It's really an aggressively priced 2D pan with a pretty big feature set too. So if you are thinking you need a pan, and you just want a good 2D solution, that's what we have right now. We are coming out with our 3D next year. And then most people are familiar with the Progeny Preva. It's the number one selling wall-mounted intraoral in the market. So like the M11, it's got a pretty big brand name recognition. Next. And then we have our full line of mechanical room products. So dry vacs, wet vacs, compressors. Probably what we're most well known for amongst this product line is our GVAC. It's power on demand vacuum. So basically what that means is it knows, it's a smart vac. So it knows if there's one user, like Op1's in use, or if all 5 operatories in your office are in use, or 0. And what it does is it adjusts the power accordingly to deliver, the optimal amount and not waste energy and kind of save on your electric bill. It also saves on the wear and tear of the vacuum, and it keeps the temperature cool in your mechanical room. And then we also have compressors and wet vacs, like I mentioned. Go ahead. Of course, the M11, this is what most people know us for. We have the M9, the M11, and the M3 sterilizer. That's our line of sterilizers. On the left there, they're showing our M250. That's actually been discontinued. And on the next slide, you'll see that's our that's our newest product, actually. We replaced that M250 with this, which is our quick clean ultrasonic cleaner. So that replaced the M250, which is no longer. But so that was, I kind of cruised through everything, but I just wanted to kind of make sure you guys were introduced to our full line, because that was the feedback that we got, was people really didn't know, what our full product line was. It was more of like, hey, we know you guys do an M11, or hey, we know you guys bought Progeny and sell the Preva. So just want to kind of quickly highlight what I would recommend is, if you guys are interested in learning more, if you could get with your local Midmark rep, and if you don't know who that is, Maribel Velasco, who's our contact for SmileSource members, she could definitely introduce you guys. And then that last slide there, the impact design, that's something we're working on. But what we do is we offer a design course, and what we're trying to do is get one with you guys that we're setting up. I'm not sure where or when it would be, but we are trying to set up an impact design course to talk about office design, layout, budget, and all those things that go into building an office, and offer it to you guys and the members of SmileSource. So that was really fast. I don't know if anybody has any questions I can answer before I let you guys get back to the rest of your call.
Anyone have any questions? If you want to type them in, I can ask them for you. I got one for you, Zach, and this is one you probably answer all the time, is why do people forget about you? Like, how come nobody ever mentions Midmark in the same breath as like ADEC or any of that stuff? Like, is it just because of distributors, or why do you think that is?
It's partly because of that. I mean, we've always been neutral as far as with our dealers. There's never been a preference or an incentive to do Midmark. We've never offered an incentive to be exclusive or to give something extra if you sell our product. And that's changing a little bit. Most of the dealers, everybody's neutral. But for a long time, there were specific manufacturers where the reps were incentivized to push a certain brand or another. So that could be part of it. But in truth, even though our name's not out there, we are 1, 2, or 3 within the marketplace of all those categories that I just went through. So we've done pretty good, but I do know what you're saying. Our name is not always in the same breath as some of those others, and that's what we're trying to do. We're still trying to build that brand and build that recognition with, and that's what I'm hopeful with you guys. We'll be able to do some more of that.
And the SmileSource program you guys have with Midmark, it says 2% rebate for Midmark purchases, which also qualify for the Midmark Plus program. And,
correct.
The best way to do that would be to go back to what I had before, where they contact either Maribel or you, right?
Yeah. So if they just order your local rep, but the nice thing about the program with you guys is, really, to be honest with you guys have the best possible pricing of any Midmark product compared to any other program or whatever else we might do, because we don't normally mix promotional pricing with any other incentives. But for SmileSource, you guys will get whatever program we're running. So if we're doing rebates or whatever it is on our our regular programs, you guys will also get your 2% rebate as well. So you do have the best possible pricing on when you combine all the programs and your rebate that's offered. That's
great. I know a lot of people are towards the end of the year, they tend to look for upgrading equipment or looking at new equipment. So
right.
This is very timely, and I appreciate you taking the time out of your day to be on the call with us. Anyone have any questions about equipment at all? All right, Zach, anything else you want to add?
No, I just thank you guys for having me. And like I said, that really the best thing, if you're interested in this stuff, let's get in touch with Maribel, or if you know your local rep, and have a sit down with them. And especially if you're going to do a project coming up, and we can definitely show you where we might be able to help you.
All right, Zach, great. Thank you very much. Appreciate you taking the time and being on the call.
No, thank you guys. Have a good night.
All right, so let's we're gonna do this again with the guys from Ziemek. You guys ready, Jamie and JR?
Yeah, we're ready. Let's give it a try. And
it's gonna work.
No,
it's gonna work.
Our math wants to play nice.
So what I'm gonna do is I'll set the timer, and then when we have like 5 minutes, I'll send you guys a message on the chat. Okay.
Okay.
All right, you should be getting the presentation screen now.
Okay, there we go. So I'm going to try really quickly here to advance slides, and if it doesn't work, then we'll just stay on this slide and just kind of talk through. So yeah, it's not one to advance. I think we have Keynote, we have a Mac, and it's not one to play nice with the software. So we left it on this slide so you guys could see.
If you guys click on any of the slides on the left, will it bring them up?
Yeah, it's actually the second wants to advance now.
It was there, yeah. Okay.
Okay. So some of you have jumped on after we spoke originally, so I'll just recap. My name is Jamie Stover. I'm the Chief Operating Officer of Ziemek Laboratories, and I'm here with JR. He's our Customer Service Director. So we're a lab that's based in Olympia, Washington, and we have satellite locations in Tacoma, Washington, and Bend, Oregon. We're a full-service dental lab. We are locally owned. We're not owned by a big corporation or some investment fund, like is kind of the trend in our industry. So we plan on staying locally owned. It's part of our business model. It allows us to be a little more flexible and adjust to different situations as they arise versus having to ask our investors back east or waiting for the next board meeting to ask, the board if we can do something. We can kind of make up our own rules as we go, which has served us really well. Part of that is also all our products are made in the USA. We don't have an outsourced model where we send crowns to China and mark them up $20 and pass them along to our doctors. We've elected to just go ahead and use our technology to allow better pricing and not outsource those jobs to another country. So we are a DOMIS certified lab that allows us to the quality system. And some of you, as you start to get more into the upper levels of practice management, understand the value of a quality system, what it can do for you, and it's done all those things for our lab. And also make sure that we operate under the FDA guidelines, because the FDA regulates dental labs just like dentists. And so it's like we have a playbook we can hand over if we were ever audited. We catalog all of the batch and lot numbers of any material that comes in contact with a patient and things like that. So we're also an ADA certified CE provider, so we do lots of lecturing and things like that. We have an event center in our lab, and we provide CE credits for our doctors, which is really fun. There's a little peek at the upper left-hand corner is the lab we're actually speaking to you from now. That's our mothership lab in Olympia. There's about 70 employees in that location. And then in the lower kind of right hand of the screen is the event center that we have and where we do our monthly CE events. And behind the curtains that are kind of towards the front of that screen or the back of that slide is a full operatory, a fully functioning operatory, so we can have clinical events as well. That's about 3/4 of the team at our last company barbecue this summer. Say what? Who's Ziemek? Why do we choose them? How are they different? I was saying earlier before our technical difficulties kind of sidelined us. We were approached by SmileSource to be a lab vendor because there was a lot of demand for us from our doctors in Washington. Clinicians we have relationships with for a while were SmileSource members. They weren't using the SmileSource vendors for various reasons, and they were requesting that SmileSource talk to us. And we started conversations with SmileSource, and then a little while here, a couple months ago, became a vendor. Some of the big differences, like I mentioned, the no outsourcing to other countries gives us a lot of consistency. It also allows us to give more of a white glove kind of service. And even though we're a mid to large size lab in today's lab landscape perspective, we can function like a smaller lab because we have 2 price menus. So we use our technology to provide quicker, more affordable crowns. And we also have a premier menu that allows us to feel like a smaller 5-6 person boutique lab that we kind of built our reputation on for years and years. And we are serving dentists nationwide with free shipping. We have dentists all the way from Maryland to Alaska. Even though we're based in the Northwest, we're not just a regional entity. We work with all implant manufacturers. We have guided surgery consultations. We can do that via WebEx, similar to this here. And then we can print surgical guides. So if any of you are placing your own implants and you're doing guided surgery or wanting to do guided surgery, that's something that we offer. The chairside consultations and conversions for the more complex implant retain cases, that's obviously something that we send our removable manager via plane to more regional states, and he'll go into an office for a day, or sometimes surgeons will book him for multiple days, and he'll be there to convert the patient's dentures as they get their implants placed, and then we will turn those into hybrid overdentures. So we kind of run the gamut, everything from the basic restorations, the most basic quick restorations, to some of the most complex cases that you can do. So we split our two price menus up, as I mentioned. One of them is called IDS, or Innovative Digital Solutions. And, we use our robust digital infrastructure to provide products quicker and more affordably. We have a 5-day in-lab standard turnaround time for most of the restorations on that menu. 3 days for modelists. So if you're a digital doctor, we, with a digital impression scanner, you can send us your digital impression file, and 3 in-lab working days, and then a shipping day, we can have you a EMAX or a full zirconia crown back, and those restorations start at only $92. And then our Premier line, we say handcrafted to your exact preferences. It's, like I said, it's more of the boutique lab feel. We can customize your preferences if you want, a specific type of occlusion, maybe to drag shim stock and centric, or you want contacts, proximal contacts established a certain way. Maybe you're a doctor that likes PFMs and you want, a full metal margin on all your PFMs every single time. You don't have to. We make it simple in the fact that you can establish preferences, and you don't have to write everything you want on your prescription every time. We can just have preferences that print out on our work tickets, and our technicians will make your restorations the way you want every time. And you can even pick which technician you want. So you can send a few crowns to us, and you can say, I really like the way that this technician's crowns look, or fit, or the shade of them, and you can just make that technician your preferred technician. So the main differences between the price menus are Premier allows you to have that smaller lab feel, that boutique, really hands-on service, and then the IDS menu allows you to pick less expensive restorations and get them quicker. And we have many dentists that choose restorations off both price menus monthly, which is pretty interesting. This is the SmileSource. You might have seen this. We created this little PDF flyer for SmileSource, and I think they have it on their website, and I think Dr. Maroon has this as well. It kind of recaps the things that I talked about, but it's important to note that the SmileSource members receive a quarterly 5% rebate, and so that's our SmileSource rebate program. We left a lot of time for questions if there are any, and we wanted to be really respectful of your guys' time tonight, because I know you have lots of stuff to do. So we did come up with a little coupon for those of you that are on this webinar tonight. We ask you to visit our website, ziemekdentallab.com, and don't worry about spelling Ziemek correctly or incorrectly. If you just go to Google and start typing Ziemek Lab, though the first, I don't know how many, 10 pages will be basically, you'll find lots of information about us, and you'll make your way to our website. If you drop us an email, drop us a line via the contact us page, JR will get in contact with you, and we'll send you a coupon for a crown. Here's our contact information. That's Jamie. I'm the guy jabbering at you right now, and then there's JR's contact information as well. If you guys want to screenshot that or take a picture of it or whatever, we can also. You can find us on the website as well, and get in touch with us if you guys have any follow-up questions, or if you want to try us out or find out more about us. And then we just kind of left the rest of this, whatever time we have left, open for questions if anybody has any for us. And if not, we'll let you guys get on with the rest of your evening. And I don't see that we didn't get a beat from Dr. Maroon, so that means we came in under time. So that's a good sign.
You did. You still got 5 minutes, so you're doing good.
Yeah. So go ahead. I'll turn it back over to you, Dr. Maroon. We're basically just kind of wanted to say hi and introduce ourselves, and kind of give a very basic overview of who we are and what we offer. And why we're a part of your webinar tonight. So I'll turn it back over to you.
Yep. So I'm going to leave this up because we're recording, so your contact information will stay on the recording for a little bit, okay? And then I'll take over the screen again. I wanted to ask you a question about the IDS and the Premier Lab. Are they in the same location? I mean, it's basically in your same facility, or is it a different facility?
Yeah, that's a great question. So there are IDS technicians in our Olympia facility, but the Premier room is its own room. So our lab is kind of an open concept, but the Premier technicians are in their own room. And we do that to separate the workflow, because years and years ago, we tried to do 2 different price menus, and it didn't work out so well because we didn't understand that really keeping the workflow separate and using separate technicians allows us to accomplish the whole idea of the 2. So we have some IDS technicians in Tacoma. A lot of the restorations are completed there, and we have an IDS section of our lab here in Olympia, and then we have a Premier section. So it's nice when you come into the lab for a tour because you actually can see the Premier restorations. They're mostly more of the layered restorations, and those technicians have computers. They access our custom shade photo library. There's a custom shade room that's right off our Premier room, so that they do custom shade consulting with patients and custom tinting and things like that just aren't available or actually part of the IDS menu. Did that answer your question okay?
Yeah. And for people who are using like digital, like they can send digital impressions to either or, right? It doesn't, I mean, you guys will accept digital for both types of labs, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. And we accept digital impression files from every single scanner on the market. So we're a Sirona Connect lab, we're 3M, the 3Shape, iTero, CareStream, you name it. And yeah, it doesn't matter. Actually, if you have an iTero, there's actually a Ziemek IDS lab and a Ziemek Premier lab in the iTero drop-down menu. So that makes it really easy for iTero users. And other users can just use the note section of their electronic prescription to request whatever type of restoration they want.
Okay, I want to go back to, you kind of buzzed through it pretty quickly, but your implant package fees. Can you talk a little bit about that? I mean, are you doing, you work with every implant system on the market, or basically the majority of them?
Yeah, we do. And so we do have implant package. We didn't want to make this all about kind of showing our price list tonight. So we can definitely talk about some pricing, but that's kind of why we buzzed through it. But anyway, yeah, we have implant package pricing, which allows you to, if you say you typically like to do a titanium custom abutment and a full zirconia crown. Well, we've bundled the most popular combinations of abutment and crowns together and priced them, including the model, the crown, the abutment, the screw, the soft tissue model, and a placement jig when necessary. So if you're using, an Astra or a Dentsply implant and it can be oriented different ways, or maybe you do a case with multiple implants in the anterior, we do a little placement jig, seating jig. Many of you have probably seen those and used them. Really helps you orient those abutments and get them seated in the right position quickly before you torque them down. Saves you a lot of time. So we just package all that together to make it easy for your front office or whoever in charge of, going over the, accounts payable, when they can just go, okay, yeah, we see that we did this implant package price. It's the same price every single time. And what is probably our most popular implant restoration right now is our hybrid one-piece screw retained full zirconia crown. So it's a full zirconia crown, and it comes to your office cemented to a titanium interface. So it's like a tie base cemented in one piece to a full zirconia crown, and you just remove the healing cap and you can just cement or torque the crown in one piece. It's great because there's no cement left subgingivally, and it saves you the time of cementing them in the office, and it's fully retrievable. So that's a really popular restoration, and I think we're selling those for $369. That just gives you an idea. So it's a crown titanium interface combo for $369.
That's great. That's a great thing. Now, are you, in addition to single implants, Are you doing any larger restorations as well?
Like complex multiple. Yeah, I mean, we'll do everything from.
Yeah, like are you guys a full service lab as well? Like you do removables, I see, right? So I mean, as far
Yeah,
as implants, are you doing bars? You doing zirconia bridges? I mean, are you doing any of that stuff as well on implants?
yeah, we're doing any and all of it, all of the above. So we're doing the full zirconia screw retain bridges. So there's no bar; it's just a full zirconia unit. You guys have probably seen some of those. And then we'll also do the hybrid overdentures with the bar,
Yep.
and then the acrylic process over the bar. Yeah. And what I was saying in the presentation that I kind of clicked through there quickly is that for the local region, we send our removable manager out chairside. He'll spend 4 or 5 hours there during surgery with the doctor and do the conversion where they convert the denture, patient's existing denture, and so the patient will have the implants placed, and then he'll convert the existing denture right there chairside to fit over that. So when the patient leaves, they still have teeth in essence, and then we take that impression and we make the bar and make the final prosthesis. So yeah, we're doing everything from the most simple single unit to the most complex hybrid overdenture cases. Full service.
There was a question about the one piece. Is the one piece onto a manufacturer's stock abutment?
It's onto it's onto well, it depends on the manufacturer of the implant. So if say it's a Straumann, then we try to source the genuine manufacturer's components whenever we can. So Straumann makes titanium interface. So say it was a Straumann implant, we would source the Straumann Vario base, it's called, and then we would cement the restoration to that Straumann Vario base. If not, we source the titanium interfaces from Implant Direct or whoever can supply those titanium interfaces to us.
Okay, great. And did I hear that you guys there's no shipping charge as well?
Right.
Okay. A follow-up question. I mean, that's kind of rare in the industry right now too. Follow-up question to the screw retained. If the doctor supplies the abutment, is it just a crown fee to make on the stock abutment?
Yeah, so if a doctor supplies the stock abutment, then absolutely, then we would just charge a crown fee over that stock abutment. And if we have to customize the abutment at all, so if the doctor takes a traditional impression and sends a stock abutment, there may be a little extra labor if we have to customize that abutment, drop the margin down below tissue or something like that.
Yep.
The other thing, the doctor can place the abutment, take an implant or an impression of that and send that to us as well, and we can work right from that impression. But yeah, and so if you were to buy off our IDS menu, if you were to buy a high translucency zirconia crown that on a stock abutment, the crown would cost $102 for a high trans zirconia crown off our IDS menu. And off our premier menu, that same crown would cost you around $150. That just gives you a kind of a ballpark.
Great. Anybody else? Any other questions? You guys did a great job. I'm glad we got the presentation squared away. It was worth it. So it sounds amazing. I mean, it sounds like you're offering a great deal for Smile Source members, and I hope that everybody who is on this webinar and the people who will watch it later on will give you guys a try, because it's definitely worth it.
Well, thank you so much, and you'll hear more about us because we're going to start becoming more active in the blog, and then some dentists have asked us to do. I think Smile Source dentists can do like a case of the month or something like that, and kind of is that correct? Yeah. So a couple have requested in our local region here in Olympia and in Spokane and in Seattle to do a case with us to put it on to show. So you'll probably start to recognize the name and see it a little more. But I appreciate. Thank you for your thanks for those kind words, and thank you guys for giving us the time tonight to chat with you a little bit. We really appreciate it.
Before you go, there's one more question. These guys they're not typing as fast as they usually do. The question was, how good is the satisfaction? How good is your satisfaction as a lab, as lab folks with the shade matching technique, the shade matching that comes with intraoral scanners? Do you guys trust them? Do you not trust them? I think it's
Oh, yeah, I think that's a really good question. So, it kind of comes down, like everything else, to the doctor's own preference and expectations, and kind of, shade matching is so, it can be kind of such an individual thing, and it comes down to your eye. So to be completely honest and just shoot the answer right from the hip, I'd say it's not there yet. I think that in the future, it's going to be really, really something that's cool and saves us a lot of money. But, we have some doctors with the 3-shape trios, and we have a couple that use that every single time, and they're picking the shade with that shade selector, and we just make the crowns to match the shade they select based on that shade selector, and the crowns do not come back to us, and they've told us that it works well. We also have some doctors that are just kind of doing it as an adjunct, so they'll take the shade and then they'll also use the shade selector, but they'll default to the shade that they pick from a shade tab. So kind of gave you a lot of information, but the basic gist of it is, my personal opinion is, I don't think they're there and they're 100% reliable yet. I think they will be soon, but it really comes down to just trying some and seeing how it goes. That's where we're at with it right now, with where the technology's at. You would just have to try some and trust it and see if the shade came back close. It's kind of trial and error.
okay.
That's
Good. Yeah, I mean, that's good. That's a good answer. I mean, nobody's going to hold you to that. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't.
Well, yeah, like I said, the couple docs we have a lot of doctors with 3-shape trios, and the couple that are trusting it, to the best of our knowledge, it works because those crowns don't come back; they get seated.
Yeah.
Would you yourself seat it, or would one of the other doctors, if there's other attendees tonight, what would they think? What would their eyes see and perceive? I can't speak to that, but the doctors that are using it are using it.
Well, again, I think
You
said something earlier. It depends on the case too. Like what are you trying to do? What is your objective with the restoration that you're trying to achieve? So I think that
right, and
into it.
we all can agree that the vast majority of the crowns that we you guys prep and we create are posterior, either first or second molars, and also like 85. There was just a survey I saw go out, I don't know, this last year. I think 85 or 87% of posterior molars are done in shade A2. So it's kind of it's kind of like you're throwing a dart at a pretty big board there. If the 3-shape trios is picking A2 and you're going with it on a second molar, an upper second molar, right? I mean, it's
yeah.
But I think that my answer would stand to say that in the anterior, if you're going to do a number 7 single Emax, no, you want to do a custom shade, or you want to do it with a shade tab.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, sounds good. All right, guys, thank you again. Appreciate your time, and I'm sure that everyone who listened and everyone who will be watching this later got some good information.
Thank you, guys, and use the you'll get a coupon if you're an attendee of this webinar. So definitely take the time, just put a little email in from our contact us link at the website, and it'll get to JR, and he'll get a coupon to you guys for I think we're doing 50% off either an Emax or a Zirconia crown from either price menu.
Great.
So from our Premier, or yeah.
Thank you very much. Thanks for the offer too. Appreciate that.
Thanks, guys. Have a good night. Thank you.
All right. Okay, guys. If you guys all want to unmute yourselves, we can go into our group discussion and talk a little bit about some of the things that we're talk about some of the tips that we have for marketing for the end of the year, or we could talk about anything you guys want to go into. All right, who's on? Dennis is on. John is on. Oh, Les is on. Paul is on. And Corinna is here. I don't want to hog the show, so I want to talk to you guys about, end of year is coming up. It's October. what are you guys doing? Anybody have any ideas for end of year marketing or making the end of year successful in your practices? Dennis, what the hell are you watching? All I hear is sports.
You guys didn't hear that?
Yes. Yep.
Sorry. I'm watching highlights of the Yankee game.
There you go. Les, I see you clicked on. How are you doing tonight?
Oh, all right. Sorry, just getting done with patients out here in the West.
Yep. How are things in LA?
Fine. We got the fires are up north.
That's good. You guys are lucky. I hope
Yeah.
you never ever experience that.
So end of the year marketing for us is usually we're working on getting a letter out now before Halloween to our patients who have insurance in reminding them to use their insurance and don't lose their insurance before the end of the year. Some years we'll put an offer on it, like spend more than $1,000, then and you get $50 or $100 off. This year I decided no offer, just a reminder. See how it does.
Yeah, that's good. I mean, that way the money stays in your pocket, and I'm sure people are still going to use the benefits anyway.
Yeah, usually we'll dress it up with, this time of year we'll dress it up maybe an orange envelope or something that's stands out so that they doesn't get in the round file that quick. They'll open it up, and it does have our address printed on the outside. We don't use our nice stationery for it. It's just there's too many to send out, and so just plain envelopes, but a color.
So I see Paul and John are having a little chat session on the side over here. Paul Levine said we send out a end of year crown letter offering a discount. And then John said we used to do that, but since we're pivoting away from insurance-based dentistry and are focusing on larger cases, we're going to pass on the letter this year. We're going to see what happens. My question is, John, I mean, I know you want to do larger cases. I think I want to do them too. Some of the things that I've been seeing in some of the online things that I participate in are saying that if you want to do more online cases, do a little bit more targeted marketing, especially for the end of year. So, for example, like if you want to do more Invisalign cases, offer the suggestion to people of maybe giving Invisalign as a gift, or if you want to do more implant cases, same type of thing. Offer the suggestion of giving dentistry as a gift. I don't know how that's going to go across, but there may be some people out there who know people who need dental work and may want to surprise a spouse or a loved one with some dental care. How do you guys feel about that? I see John said that he's going to start airing his first 30-minute infomercial next week or in a few weeks. John, what are you doing on that? Can you unmute yourself and tell us how you did that infomercial, who you did it with, and how it's working?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. This guy named Randy Alvarez in San Diego. He does sounds of, yeah, a lot of people probably know him. I went to San Diego a couple of months ago and recorded 2 infomercials, and the people that I've talked to who've done this, and it kind of depends on the practice, but the people who've done this says it's been transformative to their practice. And one is on cosmetic dentistry and one is on implants. So we'll see what happens. His main thing is implants. He says that's a home run every time if you do a lot of those. So I'm looking forward to seeing how that works out.
So is he? Does Randy do everything for you, John? Basically, does he help you with the media buys and all that stuff as well? Does he give you guidance on that?
Yes, he does that, and that's part of his business model. They get, I think, 15% of the ad buys, but you get like when he buys it for you, they get a 15% discount, but basically that goes to him. So you're paying kind of what you would pay anyway. So I figured he does more of this than I do, so I'd let him kind of call the shots on that. So you can get and obviously it's like it's not on your major network, but you can get a 30-minute infomercial for under $200 on a cable channel. And it seems like the way that this works is that when people are looking at the little menu, if something comes up like no more dentures, oh, that sounds interesting, and then they click, they go watch the show. Obviously it's not like a really wide net, but if people watch the whole show, he says that they kind of get to where they really know you, and they come in a much more heated prospect than someone who's seen a 30-second ad.
Yeah, I mean it's interesting. I've seen him filming, and but I don't know anyone personally who has done it. So it'll be interesting to see how how it works for you. Do you know anyone personally who's done it, who referred you to Randy?
Yes, Mackley did it. Burbaki has done several. Kent White is an LVI guy that I know. He has done it. They all just cannot say enough positive things about what that's done for their practice.
That's good. That's awesome.
Yeah. We'll see. I mean, how it works in a small town in Western North Carolina, like and Kent's in Nashville, Burr's in Sarasota, Florida. We'll see. Mileage may vary, but I thought it'd be interesting to try. Well, it's working for Mac in Edna, Texas, which is like the middle of freaking nowhere.
Yeah, I know. No, that's
it'll be.
And so the whole experience when you went out there, I mean, very professional. And does Randy kind of guide you through the whole process, or do you tell him what you want to talk about, or?
Oh yeah, I mean, he's done this thousands of times, so I basically kind of do what he says to do. But it's relatively terrifying because it's a little bit out of my comfort zone.
Yeah.
And of course, when I watched it, I think I looked like I'd swallowed a gerbil. But people who are not me who look at it say it's fine. So it's unusual, it's weird, but he does a great job of making you feel at home, and he asks the questions and kind of runs things. So, and if you will like bobble on something, they'll do a retake. It's not a big deal. And since somebody's going to ask, the cost on that's around $14.5 for a 30-minute infomercial with a couple of minute add-ons that you can put onto your website. When we did this, I asked him, so well, if we did another one while I'm out there, what would that be? And it was like, something like $3,500 to add a second 30-minute. Like, well, duh. So we recorded 2 while I'm out there.
Yeah, that's great. That's great.
Yeah. So we'll see. I do a lot of TV marketing anyway, so it's not like I'm not known for that. But this is going to be a kind of a different ballgame, so we'll see.
You've never done a 30-minute infomercial before. It's been mostly smaller ads.
Yeah, the 30-second testimonial ads. And those have done great. But every market is different. If you're in New York, TV time is just, I don't know what cable is, but regular time is prohibitively expensive.
Yeah.
So there are some markets where this would just be kind of crazy. Although Kent's doing it in Nashville, and that's a pretty big spot. So you do this on smaller cable channels, and that stuff is a lot less expensive than I thought.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, even just scrolling through my own cable TV, I see stuff all the time. Like are your feet sore, or get rid of your backaches, or stuff like that. So what you're talking about is right up that alley, and it's on more than one channel. On the guides, it's on more than one station, so people are definitely doing it. But I'm interested to see how yours works out for you, and I appreciate you sharing that experience with us.
Okay, well, we'll let you know.
Yeah. I want to go back to the discussion just for a couple more minutes, and then we'll end the call. I wanted to let you guys know that the next 2 webinars that we're having, we have representatives from Dentsply coming on. So next one I have the Dentsply. I have, I believe it's the Dentsply endodontics coming on to talk about wave one. And then after that, I have Jeff Schuberg, who's going to talk about maximizing our benefits with Dentsply with their 20% rebate offers for Smile Source members. So that should be good for us to do some things. I know that you guys who are talking about doing letters for end of year and getting that information out, one of the things that we have been doing in our office is utilizing our Smile Reminder. And I think you can do it whether it's Smile Reminder or Lighthouse or any of the other ones that are out there. But we, beginning in the month of September, we start doing the use it or lose it end of year benefits. We send out an email blast, and then I do that every 2 weeks in September and October, and then I change it to every week in November and December, just so that people can't say I never heard about this at all. So in addition to doing any type of letters, we're also doing email marketing as well. This year I'm considering, I saw, like I said before, I saw a lot of stuff about, trying to get people to gift dentistry for the holidays. And obviously Invisalign or ClearCorrect, whitening procedures, glow whitening, zoom whitening, things like that. I think those are all good items. I'm interested to try something implant wise. And I'll see if I can come up with something. If I find something interesting, I'll share it on our next event, webinar event. Anybody else have anything they would like to discuss or any comments that they want to bring up to the group? Really appreciate you guys being on the call. I know it's tough taking time out of your day, but I really appreciate you being on and sharing information. So our next discussion is going to be Tuesday, November 14th at 8 p.m. Eastern. And then I'll probably send out a survey to the group and see if you guys like these Tuesdays or if we want to switch them up to different days. So I appreciate you guys being on the call. Thanks again. Great meeting, everyone. And I'll see you next month. Thank you.